What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Seahawks Now, your home for all things daily Seahawks news, updates, and rumors. This weekend, we have a couple of cool stories to discuss, but we do have something interesting going on. Jalen Milroe, he's named his role model, and it is maybe one that might surprise you. It's Brock Purdy. Plus, Derek Hall describes how he believes the Seahawks defense can help the team win championships, and Devon Witherspoon, a finalist in a pretty impressive category. Let's talk about that, all that and more right here today on Seahawks Now. Let's get right into it, guys. Jalen Milroe talking about his role model, and it might surprise you to hear who Jalen Milroe's role model is. It is none other than Brock Purdy. Yeah, this is what he says. I mean, obviously, plenty of quarterbacks have succeeded after being drafted after the third round. But it's not something that we see a lot of quarterbacks do. A lot of quarterbacks who are drafted on day 2 and day 3 end up being backups. Not Brock Purdy, though. He was a 7th-round pick. Obviously, he was Mr. Irrelevant. And now he's making hundreds of millions of dollars as a starting quarterback for the 49ers. So maybe that's why Jalen Milroe is inspired by him. Because, it can be done. This is what Milroe told Eric Williams of Fox Sports. Quote, "What's unique about Brock is he played in the same system that I'm in right now. So it's been great to see the tape and see some of our reads and play calls and watching him play. He understands his feet are tied into the read and pocket integrity. When he plays on time, that's when he's at his best and he's been most efficient. That's what I've been able to capture as I've studied his game." So it's interesting to hear that Jalen Milroe, not only does he kind of maybe look up to Brock, but he's actually studying Brock Purdy's game. He's watching that film, he's watching the tape, and he's trying to improve on his own game, and I actually really like to hear this. Look, just because Brock Purdy is the Seahawks' rival doesn't mean that we can't take advice from how he plays and take parts of his game. I mean, it is a high level of respect that Brock Purdy has earned at this point in his career. He's only been in the league for 3 years, but he's already beaten the Seahawks 5 times. So, as the saying goes, if you can't beat him, then join him. And it's not like we're joining Brock Purdy, but we're taking some of the things that he's doing well and maybe implementing them into our own system. Clint Kubiak's offense is going to look, I think, pretty similar to actually the Kyle Shanahan offense, which is kind of different from what we've done in years past, right? In years past, we've wanted to do things our own way. We've wanted to do things Pete's way, right? Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Then last year, we tried to do things Ryan Grubb's way, right? Throw the ball downfield and, kind of forget about the run game, honestly. Now we're kind of trying to do things the same way that the Niners and the Rams do it, which is Clint Kubiak. It's that West Coast-style offense, and I think it can work, because, again, if you can't beat him, then maybe just join him. And when I say join him, I mean do the same thing that they're doing, because that's been succeeding for them. And if it works for the Rams, and if it works for the 49ers, and if it can work for Mr. Irrelevant himself, Brock Purdy, then I think it can also work here in Seattle with a, hopefully, a better team, a better, more talented offense, and a more talented quarterback. Jalen Milroe should be more talented. He is a 3rd-round pick. Brock Purdy was a 7th-round pick. So, Jalen Milroe, he should be able to have success, and I appreciate that he's watching the tape and trying to get better. That's huge. All right, I want to move on to the next story of the day. Derek Hall gave an interview describing how the Seahawks defense can win championships, and it was just a very, very quick 4 words. But this is the 4 words that I believe completely sums up, honestly, it completely sums up how NFL defenses work these days. This is what he says, quote, "Pass rush wins championships." Yeah, I mean, exactly right. It's what I've been saying for so long. It's why I want the Seahawks to go out and trade for another pass rusher. It's why I think that Trey Hendrickson would be such a good fit in Seattle, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. It's why I thought that TJ Watt would have been such a good fit. Pass rush wins championships. Now, he went on the Seattle Sports Radio and elaborated on this. He says, quote, "They pay guys to sack quarterbacks." And I mean, I feel like if you do that, there's no chance for the offense to be able to get going. So I think being disruptive at the front is huge. And I think that shows the importance of Coach Mike and defensive coordinator Aiden Durde and these guys here. I mean, they bring guys in for the front to be stout. I mean, from top to bottom, we have 1s and 2s who can get out and be a starter on a lot of teams across this league. Yeah, and he's totally right. I mean, he hits the nail on the head when he says they pay guys to sack quarterbacks. True. And if you do that, there's no chance for the offense to get going. Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, some of the worst games of Patrick Mahomes' career have come against the Philadelphia Eagles because they were able to get to him. They were able to rush him. They were able to put pressure on him, and they were able to stop him from even really getting into a groove. The same can be said about Tom Brady. The same can be said about Lamar Jackson. No matter how good of a quarterback you are, if you are under pressure, you're not going to be able to make those superstar plays that you might otherwise be making. And Derek Carr, yeah, he hits the nail on the head. If you can do that, if you can get disruptive, if you can get in the head of the quarterback, if you can get into the pocket, break through, and make those tackles and make those sacks, then you are going to get paid. That's only fair because you're doing your team a huge service by doing that. I guess my question for Derek Carr is, are you going to be that guy, right? Who's going to be that guy this year? Obviously, he's heading into his third season. He had a very quiet rookie season. Last year, he ended up with 8 sacks. He got 20 quarterback hits, 6 tackles for a loss, 2 forced fumbles. Are you going to be that guy this year? This is what I'm saying. Because if you're going to break out even further, if you can get to 10 sacks, if you can be one of the better, he's our number 4 guy. We have DeMarcus Lawrence, Boye Mafe, Uchenna Nwosu, and then Derek Carr. And he had 8 sacks last year. So that's what I'm saying, Derek Carr. I want you to step up and become that number 1 guy. I think it's inside of you. I think I saw that last year in you when you got those 8 sacks, when you got those tackles for a loss. I think you can be even better. I think you can improve. So I'm challenging Derek Carr. Go out there and do what you say and he admits he knows what he has to do, right? If he wants to get paid, you got to go out and get those sacks. Last season, Seattle was 16th in pass rush win rate. They were 14th in PFF pass rushing grades. Mike McDonald is hoping for that to improve. He wants to see elite pass rush production, and I want to see that too, right? 16th, 14th, that's fine, but let's get into the top 10. Let's even get into the top 5. Maybe DeMarcus Lawrence gets you there. I'll tell you who I know gets you there is Trey Hendrickson, but we'll see. We'll see if that happens. We're going to talk about that more tomorrow, like I said. But let's move on to our final topic for today. Devon Witherspoon has been named a top candidate to win Defensive Player of the Year in 2025. Great news. Great to see this. Quote, despite a lack of big plays throughout his first 2 seasons, Devon Witherspoon is named the Seattle Seahawks top Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And for good reason, writes Randy Gurzy of Seattle Seahawks on SI. Of course, he has been a big part of the defense over the past 2 years. And according to Pro Football Network's Jacob Infante, the top Defensive Player of the Year candidate on the Seahawks is Devon Witherspoon. So Infante, he went through and he picked each team's top candidate for that award. So basically picking the best defender on each team, right? Maybe not necessarily the best, but the guy who he thinks has the most potential. He says Witherspoon, while he won't wow anybody on the stat sheet with his statistics, because he obviously only has 1 career interception, but he is a 2-time Pro Bowler, and if he can start getting those turnovers, if he can start getting those interceptions, or maybe even a couple fumbles, he could enter the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year, because that's how much of a shutdown player he is. He writes, with just 1 interception in 2 seasons, Witherspoon might not wow you in the box score. However, he's graded as one of the most well-rounded cornerbacks in the league each of those 2 seasons. Witherspoon has 2 Pro Bowl appearances in as many seasons. Teams already know he's good. He just needs to increase his turnover count to get to that next level and win over Defensive Player of the Year voters. And yeah, that's probably true. I mean, at the end of the day, Witherspoon, what makes him good is not because he gets interceptions. It's because guys don't even want to throw his way. Quarterbacks don't even want to throw his way because they know how good he is. They know how he's going to get there. He's also probably the best run-graded cornerback in the NFL. I don't know that for a fact, but at the way that he's able to stop the run, he's up there with the best of the best. Sometimes he's almost like he's a third safety out there, so he's super versatile. He does everything he needs to be done. And the fact that he doesn't have a whole lot of turnovers, in my opinion, that just means that guys aren't even giving him a chance to get those turnovers. But I will agree. Voters probably don't see it that way. Voters like to see those numbers. Voters like to see those turnovers. They like to see those interceptions. So if he's going to win it, he is going to probably have to get a couple more interceptions. I think he can do it, but I don't know if he will because I don't know if quarterbacks are going to throw his way enough for that to happen. Well, guys, with that all being said, let's wrap this video up for today. As always, if you liked the video, subscribe to the channel down below. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another breaking upload. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and as always, until next time, go Seahawks.